Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host Scotty McCoy, and I have an alumni from Child's Play 2 on the phone. She played Kyle. Please welcome Christine Elise. Hi Christine, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to have this interview. So the first question I actually have isn't related to Child's Play, but it's how did you get your start into acting?
I grew up in Boston, and I was always interested in old Hollywood movies, the old black and whites and Humphrey Bogart, and sort of the film noir genre of old movies. And I collected Pulp Fiction paperbacks from the 30s to the 60s, and so that sort of gumshoe thing was my, favorite thing, whether it was literary or in the movies or whatever. So when Blade Runner came out, I was like, wow, this is a really interesting reinvention of the film noir genre. I think that's what I want to do with my life. I think I want to be a director and sort of bring film noir back to the prominence it once had in its heyday in the 40s and 50s. And so I decided to go to film school. I went to film school at Boston University for a year, and then decided it didn't make sense to finish film school in a town that didn't have a film industry. So I thought I'd move to California and live in California for a year and establish California residency, and then go to a state school at UCLA or USC, which at the time in '84, there were state schools were like $600 a semester, which was very inexpensive.
Yeah.
And there were more prestigious film schools, and I could do internships and like learn my way around town and like get a bunch of balls in the air at one time that way. So I moved to LA at 19, didn't know anybody, moved here by myself, and got a job on Rodeo Drive as a cashier, making $6 an hour to pay my bills. And 2.5 years later, I was still doing that. I couldn't afford. I was working like 60 hours a week, and I couldn't afford time off of work to go to film school, even if film school had been free. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to end up in a life of retail, which I loathed, and so not what I wanted to be doing with my life. I'm like, how can I? I need to get somehow into film school, but I had to work too. So I took some night classes at Los Angeles City College. But at that rate, I was like 16 years later, I'd have a degree. This is going to take too long. I can't do that either. And like, what else can I do to keep feeling like I'm moving in the right direction while still having my job? So if I'm going to be a director, I'm going to direct actors. I should know what actors do. How are you going to direct somebody if you don't even know what their job really entails? So I took some acting classes, or an acting class at night, just from a director's perspective, and then really liked it more than I thought I would. I'm not a performing type. I'm super shy. I still have horrible stage fright. So performing for people is something that would never have crossed my mind to do with my life. Right. But I liked it, and so I thought, hey, there are tons of actors out there that can't act, that make a living. I don't know why I can't be one of them. And so I decided to try to be an actor. And I looked super young. I was in my 20s at that point, but I looked very, very 15. I had a baby face. And I got an agent pretty quickly and started working and playing high school kids for the next decade.
Nice. So what about your audition for Child's Play 2? What was that like?
I mean, all auditions are pretty much the same. They're terrifying.
Right.
There's a bunch of people in the room, the writer, the director, the producers, casting director, and their assistant. And, you get a couple pages of dialogue to read, and you do it,
Right.
I guess I didn't get the job the first time around, and they were like, well, we liked her, but we didn't think it the first time around that she was the right one. Let's bring the people that were the near misses back again and see how they go.
Right.
And so I got to go back, and at the time I had just done an episode of 21 Jump Street, and I was on the day of the audition was currently shooting an episode of Baywatch.
Right.
So I was feeling pretty cocky as a new actor because I had been working a lot. It was new. I was new, and I was having some luck. And I was like, and I had to be on set at Baywatch at 11 o'clock in the morning. So they had this 9:30 audition. And I think I had a different attitude when I went in the second time because I was feeling more confident, and I didn't have the nerves that I have very often in auditions. And I think I had a little bit of hurry up, let's get this done, I have somewhere to be attitude, which was better suited to who Kyle was.
Right.
And so recently I asked Don Mancini, I go, hey, to whom do I owe, thanks for having cast me? Whose decision was it to cast me finally?
Right.
And he said, the second time around, it was unanimous. Everybody thought it was you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we know that Brad Dourif provided the voiceover of Chucky. So was his voice added during post-production? And if so, what was it like working with a doll that had no dialogue during filming?
I touched with Brad Dourif before we started filming, and I was already a huge Brad Dourif fan, so I was completely starstruck by him. He's a tremendous. So I rehearsed with him so he would see how I was going to do my dialogue so that he could go in the studio and record his, having some sense of how I was going to play my side of it, you know?
Right.
So then when we're on set, they play back his voice. Chucky does have a voice.
Okay.
Chucky has to have a voice so they know how to make his mouth move to the dialogue.
Right.
That's part of what the puppeteers are doing, is trying to get his mouth to move. Sometimes they will play back Brad's voice at half speed.
Okay.
So the doll has more time to get the mouth moving correctly.
Okay.
You know, and they just speed it up in post. But that you do hear his voice on set.
Okay, that's awesome, because I do know like in certain things I can't remember which one off the top of my which show it was off the top of my head, but like it might be like when it could be like either a green screen or something when they're not really there and you're acting with nothing. You know what I mean? And that's what
I do, and I was acting with nothing a great deal because I was over 18, so I'm working as an adult. And Alex Vincent was 7 or 8 at the time, and so he had child labor laws that applied to him. So we would shoot his stuff first to get him in and out. Like we shoot the establishing shot, the big wide shot of a scene that sort of gives the audience the geography of what's going on. So that when you move in for close-ups, people already know where you are in the room. You know, they've already seen the bigger picture. So now you go into close-ups and stuff. So we do the establishing shot with Alex, and then they would shoot Alex out and send him home, and then they'd shoot the doll, because the doll had like 9 puppeteers to run. The doll was more expensive than I was to have on set, as far as overtime and that kind of thing.
Right.
So they would shoot the doll out, and also the doll takes the longest. The doll, he's the most problematic, actor on set, because it's such a technical, nightmare to get 9 different guys to get all the things happening synced so it looks real,
Right.
So then they would shoot Chucky out, and then they go home. And I would be on set with a C-stand, which are those metal stands. They have lights and flags and stuff on. There would be a blue X for Alex and a red X for Chucky, and then a fucking audio recording of Brad's voice. So Brad's not there, Alex isn't there, the puppet's not there, and I'm acting with my eye lines going to things, and there's nothing there. So it's virtually the same as working with green screen. And I was alone. If you don't see other people in the frame with me when I'm doing something, they probably weren't on set when I was doing it.
Wow. That's crazy. So
quickly, I learned to stick really close to Alex. So it was difficult to frame him. It was difficult to shoot me without him, because I was so close to him all the time that he'd be in frame. So unless they were super tight on my face, Alex would naturally be in frame. So I learned to cling really close to Alex to keep my time of working alone to a minimum. But
nice. So what was the best part about filming Child's Play 2, and what was the worst?
The worst was working with no.
So the last question I got for you is, do you have any future projects or gigs that you want to tell the listeners about, and also any social media accounts or websites that you would like to promote?
I don't have anything coming up because it's Los Angeles and we're still in lockdown.
That's true, yes.
COVID. Like nothing's open.
Right.
Auditionings productions can't even go up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of laws about COVID protocol, on-set protocol.
Yeah.
Shoot, the Kevin Costner show, Yellowstone, that shoots in like Montana or something.
Yeah.
I think they're shooting, but they're in Montana. They're in this like really super low COVID problem area.
Yeah.
But everything's kind of up in the air right now because this country hasn't got that under control yet. So no, I have nothing, firm.
Right.
Because nothing's really happening. As far as social media, I have a couple of things that are, if people are interested. I have a vegan cooking channel on YouTube that you can get to by going to videovegan.com. It's a vegan cooking show geared toward people that are not vegan. It's just if you want to cut back on eating meat, or if your girlfriend's vegan and you don't know how to make dinner for her.
Right.
Or, my friend had a heart attack and now he's a medically induced vegan. There's lots of reasons to cut back on meat, and it's meant to have the recipes all be familiar, like cheesecake and orange chicken and lasagna, that kind of stuff, but all vegan. And then I wrote a novel called Baby and the Single Girl. It's a dirty comedy novel. It looks like a chick book, but it's not. It's like it too.
Okay.
It's fiction. It's not erotica. It's not like 50 Shades of Grey. It's more like if Larry David told raunchy dating stories, like just about humiliation and embarrassment and bad choices. And that can be found on Amazon. It's called Bathing and the Single Girl.
Okay.
And if you go to Bathing Book, Bathying, bathingbook.com, there's a 10-minute short film that I made before I wrote the book. If you go to the film tab on the website, you can watch the 10-minute comedy that works really well as a trailer for the book. So you get the idea of the tone of the book. And if the short film appeals to you, know that the book is way funnier and way dirtier. Yeah, I guess that's it. And on bathingbook.com, if you go to the contact page, my Instagram account, my Facebook account, my Twitter account, all that stuff is there. I have photography. I do photography as well. If you go to my pinup art, MyPinupArt, mypinupart.com. My photography is there for sale. You can buy things like, it's not just like framed prints, but you can get shirts or mugs or phone cases and whatever, the beach towels with a bunch of photos that I've taken.
Awesome.
And yeah, I think that covers
everything. I know that I will be checking out your YouTube channel for sure, because I am on a weight loss journey myself. I mean, I'm not that heavy. I was 213. I'm now 192.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Losing weight during COVID?
Yeah, that's where I gained it all at the start of it. Yeah, I literally lost all the weight that I gained in March. But I went to my parents' place one weekend, and I weighed myself on the scale, and I ended up seeing I was 213. I'm like, yeah, this isn't gonna fly. I'm 30 years old. I shouldn't be 213 pounds at this point. So I ended up making myself healthy meals and everything, and it really is costing me more money than the junk food did. But I would love to check out your healthier alternatives. I'm sure that'll help out even more on the weight loss, because I've been just getting ground beef and chicken and turkey and all that stuff. But I'm sure with having those type of meals that you're teaching, it would be a lot better, because I basically look up recipes online. So this would be a way for me to actually cook along, and if you're cooking in the videos as well, that'll make it seem like, hey, I'm cooking with Christine.
It does. I am. And
awesome.
Just so you know, vegan doesn't mean healthy necessarily. It's unhealthy vegan stuff too. The vegan cheesecake is just as bad for you as regular cheesecake.
Okay.
So don't think that just because the word vegan's in front of it, it means it's healthier, it's low calorie.
Right.
There are lots of healthy things on there though, and they're certainly healthier than animal products just in general, better for your heart.
Right.
The only way to get cholesterol into your system is through animal products. It's the only thing that creates cholesterol. So if you have a cholesterol issue, plant-based diets address that completely.
Awesome.
So there's definitely healthy stuff on there too. I mean, there's 150 episodes. So there's a lot of options.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna start looking into that, and if you don't mind, I can probably tag you on Facebook and all that with that, and show you, hey, look what I made.
Please do. I would love to see.
That'd be great. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an honor and a pleasure talking to you. I grew up watching you, and I absolutely loved you in the movie. When I seen you in Cult, I was like, first of all, when I was watching Cult, I'm like, I bet you they're gonna do something at the end of the credits, because I missed it on Alex returning, and I seen it online, and it was kind of like, oh great, that was spoiled for me because I didn't wait till the end of the credits. So I went back and watched it, but I'm like, this time I'm not going online when this is released and everything. I'm gonna watch it right when it's released. I'm gonna wait till the end credits. I'm gonna see if there's a surprise this time. I'm not getting spoiled. I'm like, holy crap, is that Kyle?
I'm so glad, because I had to keep that secret for a year. It was a big deal, because once Alex did his cameo, everybody assumed that I was going to be the next one. And so I got asked on a daily basis if I was, and my name wasn't in the credits on IMDb. They really kept it a secret that I was in that.
That's awesome.
And I had to literally answer that question every day. Are you going to be in it? Are you going to be in it? I'm like, I don't know. How do you not know? It's already finished. Did you shoot it or not? I'm like, well, I did, but we shot alternate endings, so I don't know which one they're going to use. And I had to make up all this bullshit to to keep the secret, but
exactly.
It worked, and people were super happy about it. I'm happy to say.
It was like a year-long secret that had an amazing payoff at the end of the day. It was like, this was worth the year-long wait.
Thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. That was
I
the whole
do.
point.
I really do. I'm really grateful, and I don't know if you do conventions, but hopefully,
I do.
that'll be great. Maybe if you get a chance to come to like Maryland or to Pennsylvania.
The way it works is we don't get to pick. So
Okay.
everyone thinks like you can just come. Like, if I could just go anywhere, I'd go to Texas Frightmare every single year.
Nice.
That's how it works. You have the promoter of the show has to invite you, and they curate these things
Okay.
based on a number of factors. Like they have certain projects that they're highlighting. Like they might have a Friday the 13th reunion,
Right.
or Halloween reunion,
Right.
or Supernatural or Riverdale or whatever, and So
Right.
and then they have random actors and mishmash of other people, but they have to invite you.
Wow.
You can make it known that you'd like to go, but they have to invite you because they fly you in, they put you up,
Right.
they give you the table. So and then they have a finite amount of real estate to put people on.
Right.
And once you've done a show, they mostly let you come back to that show for a couple of years.
Oh wow! Well, if there's any horror convention, promoters out there, we need to get Christine Elise at a lot of these conventions, specifically in Maryland and Pennsylvania, because
Seriously,
I definitely
I'd
want to
love
meet
to
you.
go.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I mean, I was like nervous about it because I'm like, oh my god. I'm talking to Christine Elise. Like, I mean, how can you, like, how can I contain myself? Like, I watched her as a grown up, and I've like this with all of my interviews. I'm like so nervous, and when I talk to you, I'm like, oh my god, that is her voice. And it's been an honor, a pleasure, and I am so grateful you made time to have this interview. I know we reached out a few months back, and with the pandemic, we wanted to wait a little bit. So I'm like, yeah, why not? And I kept my word. I messaged you back in, I think it was late July, and we set something up for today, and here it is.
Here it is.
Awesome.
Yeah, at the time earlier when people were dying by the thousands every day, it just felt frivolous, and I didn't feel like didn't feel appropriate. So.
Right, and I actually started up the podcast again as the pandemic started back up. It was like because I haven't done them for a year prior, literally to the day. Because the last time I'd done them before March 2020 was March 2019. But I figured it would be a good way to get people to bring some positivity, bring some entertainment, bring something that people can do and not worry about all this, all the sadness and the hate and everything going on in the world. And that's why I'm so glad I could have brought you on to be a part of this adventure. I'm so glad that we got to make this happen. And I will tag you and promote this once I get it up. I'll be putting it online later today. I'll be making a sneak peek for Facebook, and it'll be like on iTunes, Spotify, and all that as well.
Great.
Awesome. Well, I thank you again, and you have a great rest of your night, and please stay safe.
You too.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.